My name is James Dolans, and
I'm Tom Riker.
our firm is James Thomas. And people ask us all the time, what's your style? And I think our style is our client's style.
We want to make sure our client's home, it reflects them, not us. Every client's different, every house is different, so it's always evolving, it's always changing.
I think at the end of the day, when a client calls us and they say, oh my gosh, James and Tom, we are thrilled to be home, we love our house, that's why we love design. Foyers are the first impression a person has to your house.
Not everyone's going to see your bedroom, everyone's going to see your foyer.
And we treat it like a jewel box.
Today's inspiration, this sleek foyer in the city.
Oh, hi, Rochelle.
Hi. Well, this is the perfect room for this week because I had to make sure that my hair and everything was ready right before we start shooting.
Beautiful.
So I have the mirror here for that.
You look beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you. We should have you on the show more often. Age-old question for us.
Yes.
Foyer versus foyer. What do you call it?
Foyer.
You do call it a foyer.
Yeah.
See,
yeah.
even the fancy ones call it a foyer.
More low key.
Yeah.
Foyer.
Even if you live in a small condo in the city, a lot of times you will still have a little bit of space to have sort of an entryway.
Exactly.
So you can kind of do this anywhere.
Absolutely. Why not walk into a space that you feel great about?
Okay. All right, well, let's get started with giving me some lessons so that
Okay.
I can try and figure out what I need to get for this space.
Okay. But the first key thing is, obviously thinking about storage. So not only a drop-off zone for mail and keys, but storage for hats and gloves and scarves and all those great winter things that we need. So we chose this piece specifically because it was a great storage piece. It had drawers. Obviously there are doors, but it's up on legs. So it's not too bulky. It is a beautiful piece of fine furniture. We really thought about layering as much as we could to get a lot of texture. So the piece of art is leaned against the mirror overlaps the trim detail, and then to add, a beautiful kind of layer of luxury, we did a gorgeous silk wall covering from Stark. And so it really does bring your eye down from the ceiling and engages the console, so it feels like one element. I also think it's important to have something green, something alive in your space. So
well, if it were my space, it wouldn't be live for very long, James. Okay, you put a lot more thought into this than I ever would. Oh my gosh. What else do I need to think about when I'm
think about seating,
doing this room?
And not too much. It doesn't need to be large, but just some place for your guests or yourself to sit down, take off your shoes, and obviously it anchors the space too.
So you've got one on each side here.
Absolutely.
And these look very custom.
They're not too custom. They're a classic Cleesmos chair with a little nail head detail.
Say that like I have any idea what that means.
And then we just covered it in a beautiful tonal silk fabric.
As long as we've got a spot that we can sit down and take shoes off and put shoes on and get ready to walk out the door.
Exactly.
We'll be good,
and for your guests too.
Okay, so we've got some place to store things and set things down. We've got some seating. What else do I have to think about?
Lighting is key, without question. And think about different levels of lighting. So lighting more at your face where we have the sconces, and then overhead, not only with a recessed can, but also a fixture that kind of cements this vignette in space.
Oh, okay. So something right in the center.
Absolutely. Besides lighting, think about what's on the floor, because that's key too. Now in this situation, we did a beautiful herringbone inlaid floor, but you could easily do a rug that had a pattern that was similar to this. Think about texture on the floor too. Don't ignore it.
For a pretty small room, there's a whole lot of details for me to think about in here.
I think you're well packed and ready to go.
All right.
You're going to do great. Just remember foyer.
Foyer. I'm calling it a foyer.
Foyer.